The engine purred softly as I maneuvered my car through the dark, winding roads. The clock struck midnight, and the inky blackness outside enveloped the world. I knew I shouldn't be driving at this hour, but I had no choice. A family emergency demanded my presence. My knuckles turned white as I gripped the steering wheel, trying to shake off the unease creeping up my spine. With each mile, the darkness seemed to grow thicker, pressing in on me like a suffocating blanket. The headlights cut through the shadows, revealing glimpses of gnarled trees that reached out like skeletal fingers. My heart pounded as the darkness seemed to play tricks on my eyes, creating sinister shapes in the periphery. As I continued on the desolate road, a heavy fog rolled in, further obscuring my vision. My breath quickened and I felt my pulse race. I switched on the radio, hoping that some music might soothe my nerves. But instead, all I heard was static, broken occasionally by eerie whispers that sent shivers down my spine. The fog thickened, making it difficult to see more than a few feet ahead. I squinted, trying to make out the road markings. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared before me, its eyes reflecting the dim glow of my headlights. I slammed on the brakes, my heart in my throat. But when the fog cleared, the figure was gone. Shaking off the eerie encounter, I pressed on, convincing myself that it was just a figment of my imagination. But as the minutes dragged on, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The road seemed to stretch endlessly with no signs of civilization in sight. Panic clawed at my chest, and I wondered if I had taken a wrong turn somewhere. In the distance, I spotted a faint glimmer of light, a gas station perhaps. My hopes lifted as I approached, but as I got closer, the light flickered and vanished, leaving me surrounded by darkness once again. My heart sank, and I realized that the road was playing tricks on me, toying with my fear. A strange chill filled the car, even though the heating was on full blast. I glanced at the rearview mirror, and my breath hitched as I saw a pale face staring back at me. I blinked, and the face was gone. Fear gripped me, and I refused to look in the mirror again, fearing what I might see. My eyes strained to spot any signs of life, and just when I thought I couldn't bear the isolation any longer, I spotted an old, decrepit motel. Its neon sign flickered, casting an eerie glow on the deserted parking lot. Desperate for shelter, I pulled into the lot, hoping for a warm bed and a momentary escape from the night's horrors. As I stepped out of the car, the wind howled, carrying eerie whispers that made my skin crawl. Ignoring the unease, I hurried to the motel's entrance. The creaking door greeted me and a bell chimed, but no one seemed to be around. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing through the empty lobby, but my words fell on deaf ears. I noticed a key resting on the dusty counter and decided to take it, desperate for a place to rest. Room 13 was at the end of a dimly lit hallway. As I unlocked the door, an overwhelming sense of dread washed over me. The room felt heavy with a presence that sent warning signals to my very core. But with no other options, I stepped inside, hoping for a reprieve from the horrors outside. I tossed my bags on the bed and tried to settle in, but the room's temperature plummeted and the walls seemed to close in on me. A whispering voice filled the air, growing louder and more insistent. My heart pounded and I knew I had to leave, but I couldn't bring myself to move. Just as I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, the room fell silent. The oppressive presence dissipated and I bolted from the room, leaving my belongings behind. The night's terrors were more than I could bear, and I fled, determined to escape the darkness that threatened to swallow me whole. As I sped away, the fog lifted and the darkness gave way to the soft glow of the morning sun. The road ahead seemed endless, but I knew I had survived the night. Yet deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that the horrors of that night would forever haunt me, lurking in the shadows of my memory, waiting to strike again.